John Gill's Exposition of the entire Bible, verse by verse. This is brought to you by Discovering the Scriptures, being read by Dr. Peter Jum. This is the first time that a exposition, a commentary, has been available to the blind, audibly, the illiterate, the poor, the busy, and the elderly. Please consider helping this ministry by making a donation. You can see how to do so down below. Also, you can click on all the ads on YouTube. That does give me a small stipend. And with your help, you guys have really done tremendously. Thank you. Okay. Introduction to Haggai chapter 2. This chapter contains 3 sermons or prophecies delivered by the prophet to the people of the Jews. The design of the first is to encourage them to go on with the building of the temple, though it might seem to come greatly short of the former temple as it is its outward form and splendor. The time of the prophecy, Haggai 2:1, in order to deliver it to the governor, high priest, and all the people, Haggai 2, verse 2. The question is put concerning the difference between this temple and the former, between which it is suggested there was no comparison, which is assented to by silence, Haggai 2:3. Nevertheless, the prince, priest, and people are exhorted to go on strenuously in the work of building, encouraged with the promise of the presence of the Lord of hosts, and of his word, in whom he covenanted with them at their coming out of Egypt, and of the blessed Spirit, and his continuance with them. Haggai 2, verse 4. And the more to remove their fears and faintings, it is declared that in a very short time a most wonderful thing should be done in the world, which would affect all the nations of the earth. For this illustrious person would come, whom all the nations do and should desire, and not only come into the world, but into that temple they were building, and give it a greater glory than the former. Yea, the greater glory than if all the gold and silver in the world were laid out upon it or brought into it, which, being all the Lord's, could have been easily done by him, but he would give in its something greater, infinitely greater than that, even the Prince of Peace, with all the blessings of it. Haggai 2:6. Then follows the second sermon or prophecy, the time of which is observed, Haggai 2, verse 10, and is introduced with some questions concerning ceremonial uncleanness by an unclean person's touching holy flesh with the skirt of his garment, and other things, which is confirmed by the answer of the priest, Haggai chapter 2, verse 11, the application of which is made to the people of the Jews, who were alike unclean, they, their works, and their sacrifices, Haggai 2, verse 14. And these are directed to consider that during the time they had neglected to build the temple, they were attended with scarcity of provisions, their fields and vineyards being blasted with mildew or destroyed by hail, and their labors proved unsuccessful. Haggai 2, verse 15. But now, since they had begun the work of building, it is promised they should be blessed with everything, though they had nothing in store and everything was unpromising to them, which is designed to encourage them to go on cheerfully in their begun work. Haggai 2, verse 18. And the chapter is concluded with the last discourse or prophecy, the date of which is given, Haggai 2:20, an instruction to deliver it to Zerubbabel, Haggai 2:21, foretelling the destruction of the kingdoms of the heathen and the setting up of the kingdom of the Messiah, of whom Zerubbabel was the type, precious and honorable in the sight of God, Haggai 2, verse 22. End of the introduction of chapter 2.